butter leaf salad with champagne dressing and creamy stuffed manicotti with chicken and shrimp. So here we go. Let's get started with this salad. We're going to start with butter leaf lettuce, some dried cranberries, some gerbeau champagne dressing over to the side, some glazed walnuts, and some diced pears. Also some goat cheese. So we're going to just put our lettuce in our salad bowl and we're going to add our ingredients. Here I'm adding my walnuts, and sometimes these walnuts come out to be pretty big, so I'm just breaking up a few pieces so they'll be bite-sized pieces into the salad. This is optional. You don't have to break them up and you don't have to use walnuts if you don't want to. You could also use pecans or you could skip the nuts altogether. It just depends on what works well for you. So next, what I'm going to do is add in my cranberries, and that's about a fourth a cup of cranberries. Next, I'm going to add in my pears. I believe what I'm doing over there at the sink is I am draining the juice off of my pears. You could also use fresh peeled pears if you want to, and I'm just going to throw in that whole little cup of pears there. And that's pretty much our salad, other than this goat cheese. And basically what I did was take about a fourth of the package of goat cheese and I just chopped it up and I tossed it on top of the salad. We're going to add our dressing at the end. Now we're moving over to our manicotti. It's only me eating this dish and I have my water at a rolling boil. It's salted water and I'm adding in 6 manicotti pasta pieces. Now I'm going to cook these for about 6 minutes. I want them to be al dente because I'm going to cut them in half. So here I'm just moving them around, make sure they're fully covered, and I'm going to let them cook. Okay, now we're moving on to our sauce. No, actually our chicken. So what I'm doing is I put in a tablespoon of olive oil, a tablespoon of butter, and I've added in my chicken breast that I've cut. Here I'm adding some garlic powder, some onion powder, salt, and pepper. And I would say that's about a teaspoon of each. But you could pretty much eyeball it and use whatever works for you. Here I'm adding in about a fourth of a cup of red onion, a couple of tablespoons of chopped garlic, and I'm going to let that cook together until my vegetables are transparent and my chicken is pretty much done. So here I'm removing it from the skillet. Same skillet, I didn't wash it out. Now we're going to go on to our shrimp. And I didn't add any more oil or butter to the pan. I just threw my shrimp in and I'm going to season my shrimp the same way I season the chicken. Now, if you're allergic to seafood or you don't like seafood, just omit it. You could also make this same dish with ground chicken, ground turkey. And if you are vegan or you are a vegetarian, you still eat dairy, you could use mushrooms. So I'm just adding my salt, pepper, garlic, and my red onion and my onion salt. And I'm going to cook this until the shrimp is done. And this is what it looks like. Now here I'm adding in a pat of butter or about a tablespoon of butter. And now we're going to move on to our sauce. So here I'm adding in about a tablespoon of olive oil to the same pan. I still have not washed out this skillet yet because I want to induce all of those flavors into our sauce. Now I'm adding the remainder of our chopped red onion and our mushrooms. And that is actually 3 button mushrooms that I've cut up. Stirring it in. And I'm also going to, after the mushrooms start to wilt a little bit, I'm going to deglaze the pan with 1/4 a cup of dry white wine. And we're going to let that alcohol evaporate and cook out a little bit and get all of those juicy bits of flavor that were at the bottom of the pan. Here, I'm adding 2 heaping tablespoons of cream cheese that's been softened. And this is going to be our flavoring and our cream for our sauce. Here I'm just incorporating it well, getting all the lumps out, mixing it in thoroughly with the wine sauce and the mushrooms. And I'll just keep moving it around and keep stirring it in until it's smooth. So here it's almost smooth, and as you can see, it's lightened up in color. The alcohol has cooked out of the wine. I'm adding in another pat of butter. A 1/4 of a cup of cream because we're going to thin this sauce out. It's thinning out very well. Now I've added in a 1/4 a cup of Parmesan cheese that's been grated, a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. And we let that incorporate and took that off of the stove. Now we're moving on to our stuffing. So here I have 2 more tablespoons of cream cheese. And I like to use this particular minced garlic because it has a kind of a sweet taste. So I put in about a tablespoon of that garlic, a 1/4 of a cup of grated Parmesan, and a 1/4 a cup of shredded Parmesan cheese, salt and pepper to taste. And now I'm going to mix this around. This is going to be our filling for our manicotti shells. And basically you want to just keep mixing and mixing and mixing until everything is well incorporated. So we're adding flavor on top of flavor here. This is pretty much the same thing that we have in the skillet for our sauce minus the wine, but it's going to taste completely different inside of those shells. So off camera, I've taken my shells off after about 6 minutes and I've cut them in half. And now what we're going to do is take our filling and we're going to stuff it in with a spoon at both ends. So our shells are pretty much al dente, and that's the way that I like them because I want them to bake in the oven. Our oven is preheated to 350. So there's one. And what we are doing also is our dish that we're baking it in has been sprayed with non-stick spray. You could also use butter and butter it if you'd like. So here's shell number 2. Basically what I'm doing is the same. I'm just stuffing my stuffing in there. We mixed in our chicken and our shrimp into this stuffing. I did not record that. So in that silver bowl is our chicken and our shrimp and that cream cheese mixture. And we just incorporated it. And now I am stuffing this shell again. From the top, we want to make sure it's all the way down into the middle. And then we're going to turn around and stuff it from the other side. I'm going to continue to stuff all of my shells, and then I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. The reason I don't cook my shells all the way through is because I don't want them to be overcooked when they come out of the oven. Sometimes when you overcook them, they kind of get pasty or rubbery, and that's not the taste that I'm going for. I like my shells to still have a little bit of bite to them. I like them to be al dente. But if you don't like that and you like your shells to be softer, then cook them longer. On the back of the package, it says that you should cook them for about 9 minutes. So here we're moving on to my salad. Off camera, I have drizzled this salad with the Gerard champagne vinaigrette dressing. It is absolutely divine. And I have slowed this camera down because we are making a pile of salad on this saucer. So basically you drizzle the dressing down into the bowl of salad, and then you just want to smash it just lightly, but not too much dressing, just a little bit. And then you want to make sure your pears and your cranberries and your walnuts are on top and all through the lettuce. That's just for presentation. So basically I'm just showing you how to do that, and that is why I've slowed it down so much. So here it's time to plate. So I've taken one of my shells. They've come out of the oven. I put it on the plate. Next, I'm adding another piece of shell that's come out of the oven. And then I'm going to place the third one on top here. And now we are drizzling our sauce over the noodles or over the shells, the manicotti shells. This sauce is really good. It's piping hot. It's nice and creamy. It's full of Parmesan cheese, and you can also taste the hints of butter and wine. Oh my goodness, it's really, really good. I'm sprinkling a little bit of parsley for presentation. And it's time to eat, y'all. This is amazing. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. I hope you try the salad